Hello Internet, welcome to Lex Universe. So we're in Bari Airport and this video will be a little bit different. I will give you this introduction here, but then I will move to my house for more comfort, and I need to gather my thoughts a little bit before I speak about this. But what this video will be about is how Italy is coping now 2 months or so after the end of the epidemic of COVID-19 here in Italy. The situation is a little bit different here in the south of Italy than it was in Bergamo and the surrounding region of Lombardy and Veneto. But still, a lot of these measures that have been created all around the country are pretty much the same, and people talk about them. And in case you're interested in how travel looks like in Italy now post-COVID, this is the place for you. So I'll go catch a plane and talk to you later. 2020, right? So I don't think I've ever experienced a more depressing year in my life. It's kind of funny when I celebrate New Year's Eve. I had such big plans for this year, and I was always convinced, oh, this is gonna be my year, it will be great, and it really surprised me. So I'm not sure if you have heard about it, but we have this world pandemic of this stupid disease, COVID-19, going on. If you haven't, then I'm not sure what planet you were watching me, but in that case, welcome to Earth. Yeah, so in this video I want to talk a little bit about how Italy is handling this thing, how it was handling it, what the tourism and traveling looks like in Italy now, several months later, and generally what traveling looks post COVID-19 outbreak. I know that this pandemic is not over, it's actually far from that, but right now here in Europe we're actually experiencing kind of a, I don't want to say getting back to normal, because there is nothing normal about this year, but the situation is kind of settling, and borders are generally open, at least within the European Union, so some kind of traveling has returned, and that's what I actually want to talk about. I want to talk to you about how to travel safely, not only in Italy, but I mean, a lot of things that I will talk about in the beginning of this video will apply for Italy, of course, but they are a little bit more general, so we can apply them for many other states. So let's dive in. So the first thing that I have to mention is, when I say that Italy is opening up to the world, it's not actually correct. Italy is opening up to certain countries, and to be more precise, it's opening up towards the European Union. So in case you are a citizen of the European Union, you can travel to Italy, generally. And some other countries actually have this possibility as well. It took the European Union like half a year, but they finally came up with some general approach towards the world pandemic. So right now there is a list of countries that are greenlit, and if you are a citizen of one of these countries, or if you're a permanent resident of these countries, you can enter the European Union in general. And the same thing applies for Italy, as is a part of the European Union. If you are used to planning, then you can scrap these plans. I mean, you can still be lucky and plan your holiday, and it can end up the way you envisioned, but through this, in most cases it won't. A lot of tourist industry is in, I don't want to say in ruins, but it's been affected, and not all the things are actually back to normal. So for example, when I was in Iceland, it was really shortly after the travel ban was cancelled, and there were not so many tourist agencies or tour guides. You kind of have to count on that, and if you're traveling somewhere, you have to consider the possibility that not everything that you plan for will actually happen. I mean, getting back to Italy, since I don't own a car, I have to rely on guided tours or public transportation. The problem is there were almost non-guided tours in Italy, or in the area that I went to. Even the public transportation is kind of affected. several weeks ago there was still some kind of a ban or restrictions on traveling inside Italy. So all these routes of the public transportation like trains, buses and stuff were cancelled, and they haven't been renewed yet, or there are some substitute buses for trains because they took the advantage and started renovating the rail tracks or whatever. If you plan on going to Italy now, let's say it's August 2020, you kind of have to know what regions you will visit, because even if you are from one of these greenlit countries, then some regions still require you to get some pre-registration forms in which you will give them some information about you and especially about your stay. This helps in tracking the contacts when there is someone who is tested positive on COVID-19. So right now these regions are Sardinia, Sicily and Calabria and Apulia. So if you want to travel to one of these regions, you need to go to their website, then you will fill out the document and you will send it to the local health bureau, whatever it is, and then keep the printed copy with you. Alright, so now some other measures that are actually in place in Italy. Well, first of all, there are face masks. In the whole of Italy, you need to be wearing the face mask whenever you are in an interior public place, which means supermarkets, railway stations, airports, any kind of public transportation, basically anywhere that you are inside and it's a public space, you need to be wearing a face mask. And guys, this is one of the things that is quite effective against the virus, and it doesn't really cost you that much to do that. So there is no reason not to. So another thing that you will probably have to get used to if you're traveling to Italy, they are measuring your temperature almost everywhere. At the airport is like the first thing that will do to you, and if you have an elevated temperature you will get tested or you will go to some medical examination, so be prepared for that. But in general, I haven't noticed that there would be so many restrictions. Right now it's a lot more relaxed, and I think it's kind of the general character of the Italian people. They're not so strict, they're more relaxed in general, which probably isn't best in the time of the world pandemic, but just know that if you're traveling to Italy you will not expect any big restrictions. On the other hand, some things have actually changed. You will see it almost everywhere when there are some seating areas in the airports or in the railway stations. Part of these chairs are actually are crossed out. You cannot sit on them. So I'm not sure how much enforced this is, but I guess that in some places they take the social distancing really seriously. So that's one of the examples. Another would be what guided tours in the interior areas look like. So I visited this Casa Grotto, which is this cave dwelling in Matera, and it was really strict. They accepted only 8 people for the tour. At the whole time we needed to keep distance of 2 meters from each other. There were like these points on the ground where we had to stand. We couldn't move around, and then during the guide we were just moving between all these points so that we all visited all of them, but still we kept the distance from each other. And of course the mandatory mask is also in place. Also, another thing that kind of surprised me, there was a lot of soldiers and a lot of policemen all around for example, the city of Bari. They were walking around the public spaces and randomly checking people, their documents, their IDs, passports, stuff. They even checked me once, so kind of be prepared for that. And one of the reasons why they're doing this, they can actually check your pre-registered form that you did on the website. So really have it on you all the time, because otherwise you can end up having some troubles. Well, now it looks like there is no life in Italy. That's not actually true. Some of the places are really void. There's like nobody there. One of the reasons is there's still not so many foreign tourists. That's one thing. I mean, Italy didn't get the best advertisement in media, so I guess not many people kind of want to go there. But if you come to some of the coastal towns and stuff like that, there will be a lot of locals, because I mean, it's summer and you just want to go to the sea if you are in the country that has it. So a lot of Italians actually go to the coastal towns and they spend their vacations there. So you will meet a lot of local people, and saying that a lot of these places will be overcrowded, or like normal crowded, but I have spent half a year in quarantine, so any kind of crowd is overcrowded for me. Otherwise, there are no real restrictions on restaurants, cafes, or stuff like that. They're open. While saying that, some nightclubs or like dancing clubs, all of that is closed. It's not possible to go there because they are like the most dangerous thing in the time of pandemic. So keep that in mind. But overall, the life in the country has returned to some kind of a normal, so you don't need to worry about it that much. Also, we will kind of see that a lot of Italians have kind of a relaxed approach towards these restrictions. You can see a lot of them wearing their mask like under the nose or not wearing it at all. While a lot of people do that, I wouldn't really recommend it. First of all, kind of loses the point for wearing the mask, and second, you can really get fined. I've seen a few people who actually really got a fine, and I think it's like 100 euros, so that's something you don't generally want to pay. So just obey the rules and you will be okay. Right on, that would be Italy post lockdown. I hope you found this interesting. I hope it helped you. I really hope that I gave you some kind of a moderate picture to how it looks. Not something extremely positive, not something extremely fearful. If you want to go to Italy, I don't think there should be anything stopping you. The situation is there pretty much the same as the rest of Europe, so you don't need to be worried about that. I mean, you don't need to be worried about that more than anywhere else. If you are scared of catching the virus, then I mean, stay at home. That's your thing. If you want to travel, Italy is not more dangerous than any other country. And I really hope that the tourism, not only in Italy, will rise from the ashes, and we will get back to some kind of a normal in a reasonable time horizon. On that positive note, I think I will end this video. I really enjoyed the time spent in Italy, and honestly, if you want to see the world, or at least the parts of the world that are open, without a lot of tourists and without large crowds of people, I think this is the best time to travel. If you're not scared. And if you know how to do it safely. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a like, subscribe to my channel, check out my other social media, check out the previous videos from Italy, and see you in the next video. Have a wonderful day.